Why am I so goddamn depressed? Yikes. That's today on One Day Ahead. Welcome to One Day Ahead, Are There Any Questions? A web series where I take student or teacher questions from my class and around the world. And today, our question was dropped into my question box. It says this: why am I so goddamn depressed half the time? Yep, and that's kind of the question, isn't it? And a lot of kids seem to be asking it. So I do have thoughts on this, but I want to start by making two things super clear from the start. Number one, I am no mental health professional. I am speaking solely and exclusively from my own experience, having lived a life, been a teenager, and worked with thousands of high schoolers over my career. So, like grains of salt, maybe barrels. Number two, true honest-to-God depression is not what this video is about. Clinical depression is a desperate and terrible thing. Left to run its course, depression can lead to suicide. This year, the Centers for Disease Control reported suicide as the second leading cause of death among ages 10 to 34. And last June, they released more data showing the rate is only increasing in every US state, except for Nevada. So way to go, Nevada. Depression in like a medical clinical sense is often a chemical situation. It's a brain science thing. And if that's what's going on with you, then what I'm about to say, it doesn't really apply to you. But no self-diagnosing. Get out of here with that nonsense. Go see a doctor, then a pharmacist, then a therapist. However, your question intrigued me because you said half the time. It makes me wonder if what you were experiencing might not be like depression at all, at least in the medical sense, not like born from a place of hardwired brain chemistry or resulting from trauma. Instead, what I see most often in schools might more accurately be described as being disaffected, like lost, distant, deluded, empty. Does that sound like you? Boredom, excessive video games alone, endlessly scrolling Instagram, laying in bed staring at walls on Sunday afternoons. Does that sound right? If so, then science is probably not the root cause of your present darkness, nor is it the solution. We need to look elsewhere. And my first question is this: where are you looking? So, have you seen this selective attention study video? It's super famous. It's the one with the kids in the white and the black shirts and they're throwing these basketballs back to each other. If you haven't, go check it out right now. I'll put a link down in the thing. We'll wait. So I am going to spoil it, but it's from 1999, so deal with it. When you watch it, you're supposed to count how many times the kids in the white shirt pass the ball to each other. It's pretty simple. Everyone's milling around and they're throwing the ball back and forth. But here's where it gets fun. After about 10 seconds, right in the middle of the frame, this dude in a full-blown gorilla suit rolls onto screen. He turns right to the camera, beats his chest a bunch of times, and then just keeps walking off. After the video ends, participants were asked how many times the students in the white shirt passed the ball to each other. It's 15, but who cares? Then they were asked, did you see the gorilla? Do you know how many people had literally no idea what the researchers were talking about? It was about half. Seriously, half never saw the gorilla. So what does this mean? It means your focus significantly dictates your reality. What you are aiming at is what you experience. And in my experience, most kids are aiming at nothing at all. So guess how they feel? That's because society has sold you a lie. It has told you that the purpose in life, the purpose of life, is to be happy. Do what makes you happy. Indulge. There are no real rules. If it's hard, screw it. In fact, screw all responsibility. It's all too burdensome. Just chase what makes you feel good. Do you know what that got us? A generation of unmoored, blank, purposeless kids. I know because I was one of them. And ironically, they are decidedly unhappy. That's because you are not built to be happy. That's not what a person is for. Call it evolution, call it God. I don't care so much how we got here, but you are made to pursue something much bigger than your immediate gratification. So why are you so depressed half the time? It's because you don't have meaning. It's because you don't have something to live for, some reason to get better, stronger, smarter, some reason to get out of bed, clean your room, do hard things. Life is hard. School is a pain. Teachers are demanding. If you don't have that focus to help drive down your intrinsic darkness and natural laziness and instead whip yourself into shape, you are at best going to drag along the bottom, wondering what life is for. Without purpose, without meaning, you get what we got now. Suicide, the second leading cause of death in young people. Opioid and heroin overdoses skyrocketing and antidepressant use up 64% since 1999. I gotta remember to breathe. So what could happen to you? Well, given enough time, anyone without a central purpose will eventually find something else to fill that hole in the center of themselves. Often it's with hate. Sometimes it's drugs or alcohol. I've seen self-loathing, dependent relationships, ideology, polarization, moralizing at other people, often on the internet. It's not a road that you want to go down. So what's the solution? It's get moving. It's orient yourself to something bigger than yourself. It's get involved in something that's going on outside of just your own little bubble. It could be at school, it could be at church, it could be a youth group or a band or a sports team. I don't know, but find a goal and pursue it and start with getting your life together. Yes, it is hard, much, much harder than the empty wandering or excuses or blame shifting. But when you are ready to get out of this halftime depression, it is the answer. And you know what's fun? What's beautiful? Even once you start living with a purpose, once you start chasing your dreams, happiness will come, but it's not the goal, it's the side effect. So shoulder the burden of being human with one life to live. Get involved in something bigger than yourself, in sports, in church, in youth group, in a day camp, in being a big brother, big sister, or pouring into your family. I don't know, but find meaning. It's an act, it's an action, and it's on you because who the hell else is gonna do it for you? Find something to look to and decide to chase it every day. Set your eyes on worthy things because where you set your eyes is what you will experience. Don't believe me? Just ask the monkey that no one saw. Fail to do that and your emptiness may one day swallow you whole. All it takes for that to happen is to keep pursuing nothing at all. Good luck, and thanks for your question. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and check out my other videos. If you have a question you would like to see featured, you can email me here or simply comment below. One more thing, clinical DSM-5 depression is so freaking real and it cannot be fixed with positivity and running shoes and some blowhard on the internet. So for God's sakes, if you are on medication, don't stop taking it. If you need someone to talk to, your school counselor is a great place to start. And here is the suicide prevention hotline, just cuz. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on One Day Ahead.